Rasamoyi Pandita, Hare Krishna, after a full day's work. And Nama Priya, maybe after a full day's work, I do not know, probably, yes. And Seva Rupa Devirasi, always mysterious when you work. And Kaila, Hare Krishna, or she's having drink. Govinda Nandini, look, we're coming from all over. Dandavad Govinda Nandini. And 900 kilometers away or something like that, Leela Shakti Devirasi. And Tungarasa Devirasi with the purple blue flower. Devamrita Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Looking cold like me, put a thick sweater on. And Rupanuga Prabhu, all the way from Australia. Dayanidhi Das Prabhu is New Dayanidhi, right? New Dayanidhi. Right. And Leelamoyi and Vijay Krishna, thank you for your good wishes, by the way, Leelamoyi.
Dandavad Maharaj.
Dandavad. And how's it, Valentina?
Valentina is good, yeah. She's.
This is not Valentina.
No, Valentina is sleeping.
She's sleeping, Maharaj.
Okay, very
She's
good.
Sleeping. There is this guy is there. He's always jumping.
Oh, okay.
Oh, his face. Pongoji.
Faithful dog. And Bhagavan Prabhu with us also all the way from Venezuela. Dandavad Prabhu. Nitai Gora, Nitai Gora. And I'm here looking dark, which shouldn't be looking dark. Looking dark, maybe. Devashis Prabhu looking bright. All right, devotees, we're coming together. And where's our Keshavananda Prabhu? He should be in the West London temple, no? Or we don't know.
Dandavad Smash. They just finished the arti. I think they're going to go online any minute now.
Oh, there's Lavanya. Lavanya, very good. Thank you very much. And Keshavananda will arrive safely?
Yes, yeah, he's here. You'll see him in a minute.
Okay, very good. Dandavad. So first of all, let us chant Mini Vandanam, Vandeham, and Om Gyan, and Vanchakalpa, and Namo Mahavadanyaya. Let's start in a good way. So Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yuttapada Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganaraghunatam Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitanscha Om Agyan Timarandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahaviranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurasishe Namaha. Jai, all the assembled devotees, as Gurudev would say, in case you think I'm pronouncing it wrong. Assembled devotees, including our Keshavananda Prabhu, who's just arrived in the West London mat, and bodyguard of Saraswati next to him, so he doesn't escape. Very good Seva, Saraswati Didi. And Saraswati sister Krishna Mohini Didi joining us also from Spain too. And Madhu Gopal Prabhu also joined us just now too. So welcome to those who joined within the last couple of minutes. So let us put a spotlight on Keshavananda Prabhu. After all, we've come to the West London temple today, and now we can see what a devotee looks like. Here's Keshavananda Prabhu getting all ready to join the devotees in Vrindavan and Govardhan within a few days. But first, he's giving some grace to West London temple, giving and taking. I know what Keshavananda will say.
Yes.
Keshavananda ask you to open with some words for our devotional nourishment.
Hare Krishna. There's no other necessity except the service of Lord Krishna.
You speak well, but I saw you cheating. You were reading those words from something.
little help from my friends, Maharaj. This is how we are going on, unquestionably, with a lot of help from our well-wishers and a lot of help from our friends. We chant these mantras. They can become a little. We chant them every day, so sometimes we don't give the attention we should to them. That Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva, that really everything coming through the heart of the devotee, the heart of the carriers of that divine beauty and sweetness that comes from them, the plane where the Vaishnavas live. So through our Guru and Vaishnava, everything is coming to us. And after some few weeks away from the company of the Vaishnavas, with some duty to my mother and family, I can feel it more strongly than ever that our fortune and our hope in this life and beyond comes through the association of the Vaishnavas, those children of the same soil, as Srila Guru Maharaj so poetically and beautifully, his words are so dancing, these dancing words, poetry words, how this divine hope comes to us through their beautiful lotus mouths. It comes in the most charming words of hope and beauty, that our hope lies there in the service of those devotees. So I'm very happy to see everyone here throughout the world gathered in West London, just coming through the door and being greeted by Saraswati Didi and Lavanya Didi and young Gadadhar Prabhu very happily. Very happily, we've been lucky for the last maybe 30 or maybe almost 30 years of my life to have had these, well, not Gadadhar for 30 years because he's not that old yet. I don't know what he was doing before. But, for half my life anyway, let's say that these devotees have been always nourishing and always affectionate. See Devashis Prabhu on the other side of London and the community there, exactly the same. When we first came, then this current temple in West London had not yet manifested, and Gurudev would come to Green Street Mott, and miraculous things would occur outside the limits of physics, as how many devotees could fit into one little house on Green Street, and he would come there to dispense his merciful glance and gracious heart, giving hope to the hopeless and affection to everyone without any consideration. I know here they're reading in the morning currently the glories of Raghunath Das Goswami. So we were hearing today about the Panihati festival. I heard Sachi Didi reading this morning. Without any Gurudev, everybody who came, his full affection and encouragement and inspiring us to go in that, to try and give ourselves in that line of dedication and line of offering ourselves to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Here we are under the lotus feet, beautiful lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So really everything is with the devotees, everything comes from the devotees, from the Sri Guru and Vaishnava. This is the truth. This is the simple truth. It lives in the hearts of it's a living substance and it lives in the heart. It's a heart transaction. That's what it's about. It's relationship and trying to relate properly in a mood of service and dedication to the carriers and holders of this wonderful thing called Krishna consciousness, that we're blessed to have any aspiration, even the aspiration for that. That's what we're praying for, that I want to be a devotee. And I get that inspiration to want to be a devotee from the devotees by their inspirational service and lives. So I'm what to say, Maharaj? I'm just very happy to see everyone. I'm happy to see in all the different countries come to London today. I hadn't really thought, and I can see in Ireland, Subhasini Didi and Krishna Mohini Didi in Spain and all different countries. I don't even know all the countries that are here. But this is a family of heart, really it is. We may have different language, different culture, different backgrounds, but we've been graciously brought into the family of Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and Srila Shira Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and Raghunath Das Goswami, and Mahaprabhu himself, through their affectionate generosity to wake us up and bring us out of our selfish ignorance and turn us and adjust us into the proper adjustment with the environment, proper adjustment with reality as servants of that wonderful, beautiful Lord and his devotees. And Giriraj is smiling on the altar. I hope he's smiling, but I can see his lotus eyes look like they're smiling to me anyway. So I'm sure he's happily here with the service from the devotees, so dedicated in their service in so many different ways to keep this this temple going and to try to broadcast as possible by us, to broadcast the glories of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. We're sitting here with the Parampara, beautiful big pictures of the Parampara on the wall. What these great saints of the highest caliber, what dances in their hearts. That's what we're trying to represent, however imperfectly I may do that, and I know that's true, but at least I want to be able to try and share something of the wonder, really, that it is to be touched by those Vaishnavas. When their gracious glance, it does something to us. We can't really say what it is, but it gives us so much joy and hope and wonderful things. Each other, also the gift of our Gurudev, the family of the devotees. So I'm just very happy to see everyone. Really, that's my little few words, Maharaj.
So let us also, because we're all seated there, let us all welcome you into the temple. Well done, Keshavananda's arrival not in Panihati, but in West London, Greville House, Bhakti Yoga Institute.
Yes.
And I know it's a big tapasya, big austerity for Keshavananda Prabhu, but he's responsibly looking after his family duties with his aged mother. And now coming to the temple on his way to Vrindavan, flying soon to India, Vrindavan and Govardhan. And Muktinath Prabhu is already in Govardhan, and he's doing maintenance, cleaning, repair work. He's there to be simply as a servitor happily.
Right.
So we're happy for that. We've got our inside man. Now we have two inside men, one inside man in Vrindavan and one inside man in Govardhan.
Yeah, in that same chapter, Maharaj, I don't think we quite reached there yet, but when Mahaprabhu gives to Raghunath Das Goswami his gunjamala from around his neck, and he gives him that's Shila, Govardhan Shila, and tells him that Mahaprabhu has been, his tears have been crying onto Giriraj, and he's been holding him to his heart, and his thumb has melted the stone from the fire of his devotion. Gives that Govardhan Shila to Raghunath Das Goswami, and one of the verses Raghunath Das is saying that I feel I have been given to Giriraj by Mahaprabhu, and that I will be given a place near him. So we're then thinking of that beautiful prayer of Raghunath Das Goswami, a prayer for a place at the foot, a home, a dwelling at the lotus feet of beautiful Govardhan Hill. And this was the favorite prayer of Saraswati Thakur in praise of Govardhan Hill. And Gurudev put it in Sanskrit writing on the altar, or to the side of the altar, as we're standing in front of Giriraj in Govardhan. On our right side of the altar is that beautiful Sanskrit prayer, Nija Nikatanivasam Dehi Govardhana Tvam. Oh Giriraj, please, one day, let me have a little spot, a little dwelling by you, that we can try to serve your beautiful, smiling, affectionate Lord. So it was very happily to see these slokas coming out of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and even with the scriptures, it's also a heart transaction. Everything, Gurudev was saying, everything is in that land. So I was thinking of our dear Uma Didi, our brave soldier, Uma Didi, serving there through thick and thin, through heat and cold, wind and rain. She says she's the gardener, is how she describes herself. I'm just the gardener. And whatever may be happening in Govardhan, we always think that the grass is looking very green, and the trees are watered, and the flowers are growing. So the gardener is doing some very valuable service there. And happy to hear that Muktinath Prabhu there, to try to give some energy to these places that were so dear to Gurudev and Guru Maharaj also, and all the devotees, as a place where we go on parikrama and pilgrimage to come together from around the world and try to render some service in those holy places of our guardians, their places actually, but they graciously invite us in to try and do something. So we'll see if we can get there, but with the blessings of the Vaishnavas, only by the blessings of the Vaishnavas, in fact, can we approach anywhere near those places. It's not just as simple as buying a ticket. Sadly, it's something different to that. So,
do you remember offhand verse number 9? Nija jana yutta radha Krishna maitri rasakta vrajanara pashupakshi vrata saukyaika dataha aganita karunatvang mam urikritya tam tam nija nikatan nivasang dehi govardhanatvam. O Govardhan, you alone give happiness to the people, animals and birds of Braja, who are filled with the mood of friendship towards Radha, Krishna and their companions. You are immeasurably merciful, so please accept me, a wearied soul, and give me a dwelling near you, O Govardhan.
Joy.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And Giriraj is there in the London temple too. It is very good. I expect you do already. It's very good to chant these 10 verses from time to time.
Maybe we can give them a little darshan.
Because they are literally, they're engraved in marble right beside the temple door, the door of the actual altar room in Govardhan of Anu Giriraj Ji.
Here's the beautiful deities of West London.
Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Sunda Radha Giridhari Ju, right?
Yes, Radha Giridhari Ji.
Radha Giridhari.
Giridhari.
Jai Giridhari.
How amazing actually.
Saraswati, it looks like Mahaprabhu is getting a little fatty. He does. He looks quite chubby, doesn't he?
Yes, Maharaj. Well, it's not surprising. with the effect, so many, wonderful, just worshipable servitors here, actually, and throughout. Those who stay here, but like I'm looking at Krishna Mohini Didi, and I'd always remember her always sewing something or making something or cleaning, always doing something for the service of the deities and the devotees. So, and we see those qualities. We're just praying that one day to have some of those qualities that we can see in the devotees serving here. And in East London, on the other side of this great big city, the same there. We know the years of selfless dedication that we see in the devotees is a wonderful, amazing thing.
And as you were referring to earlier, Srila Gurudev would go to the East London temple, because actually the West London temple, for those who don't know, it manifested exactly on the day of Srila Gurudev's disappearance. And really it was practically his last kind of unfulfilled wish that we'll get a new place in London, and he was so much wanted it, this place, in fact, right beside the airport, so suitable. And it came the very day he departed. So Gurudev didn't come, we can say, physically to the West London temple, but the East London temple he did come to, but it's a tiny temple. But the devotees always say it was mystic, because however many devotees came to see Gurudev, they could all come in and see him. So how it was that hundreds of devotees can fit into that tiny temple. It was ununderstandable. And the staircase is kind of pretty narrow. So to even have a one-way system for devotees to go upstairs, meet, and come down. So I think they all went upstairs, and all at one time everybody's upstairs, and all at one time everybody will come downstairs. And here in Vila Govinda, we've got a beautiful photograph right outside the London temple, looking like more devotees that could possibly than could fit inside. But outside the temple, a group photo, which Gurudev always liked to have, a group photo of the assembled Vaishnavas. And super beautiful deities in West London too. Sorry, in West London, now we can say chubby, Gaura Sunda, but in East London, we can say delicate deities, the delicate deities in East London. Shishi Guru Gauranga Radha Shyama Sunda. And Giriraj also in East London too. Saraswati Devashis, we've caught you sitting down, a very rare thing for a short while. A little contribution from yourself, a little news from you. You're living there, you know what's taking place. So we've come to West London. Share a little devotional news from the West London ashram, kindly.
Well, it's been very quiet because we were closed for a week because of the COVID. Now we are reopening again from today. And it was good because Keshavananda Prabhu came, so we are starting our service, hopefully with some classes and like that. And we are also reassuming our prasad distribution tomorrow. Yes, and yeah, the temple programs going on every day as usual. The deities are looked after.
And the what?
That goes on. The deities are looked after. The arotis, the offerings. It's only 3 of us living here at the moment, residents, like that. But yeah, service is really our daily bread, our life. That's what really connects us with our Gurudev, and we have seen the example they have given us. Service. And they not only satisfied with 10%, they want more and more and more. And also not only the service like a robot, but with the mood that they have shown us, with the humility and affection, and like Savananda Prabhu was saying, we can just try to follow and aspire for that kind of mood from them and from the Vaishnavas, and like that we keep going on. So everything boils down to service. In reality, everything is service. That's the relationship we're trying to build with our Gurudev, through service, serving him and his mission and the devotees, the Vaishnavas, and yeah, following in their footsteps, humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others, and respecting everybody and honoring everyone, and trying not to make any offenses and criticizing anyone, just trying to go on with our service and take it responsibly. Do it in a responsible manner, not part-time or like that. Something more like I was telling Radha today, we were talking a little bit, he was asking me about Gurudev, and because he didn't really spend much time with him, so I was saying taking initiation is not just a formality, it's really to offer our life in service to our Gurudev. It's giving ourselves to Gurudev. It doesn't belong to us, this body anymore. It belongs to Gurudev, so we have to try to give ourselves in the service of Gurudev. That just following trying to follow in the example they have given us, themselves with their own service life, their dedicated life. That's what they have done for us. So we are really indebted to them for this precious gift they have given us. So what do we need to do to offer to them? It's our life in service, isn't it? So yeah. And I gotta go and do the offering right now. So
And what?
I just have to go and do the offering. So
Oh, okay, okay.
don't see me here. It's not because I am escaping the class. I have to do it. So Danda to everyone.
All right, Dandava, thank you very much. And yes, indeed, because more and more, well, I hope more and more, we understand there is nothing else but service. What else is going to be of any happiness or fulfillment? Anything else is just chewing the chewed. It's just a waste of time. And once we get a little taste of the service world, even you can say second-hand by seeing the servitors, especially we can say seeing Gurudev, seeing Guru Maharaj, seeing them, a little taste, and we think anything else is just straw, chewing on straw, not chewing on anything tasty. And sooner or later we have to be like serious as devotees, because it's the natural use of our energy. It's the unnatural use of our energy to think we can get enjoyment by doing whatever it is we do in this world, going to the nightclub or ice skating or hang gliding. I mean, who knows what kind of things. Well, nearer than that is going on Facebook and all those other things, isn't it? Playing games. Oh, yeah, playing games on the telephones and stuff. It's just a total waste of time. And tasteless. So the only thing to do is to be a devotee. You can't do nothing. We've tried doing nothing, just doesn't work. You got to do something. Hare Krishna. Even in the hospital, the patients, they got to rest, right? But they still have to do something. You can't do nothing day and night. So they have to have something to keep the brain a little bit running. So even you think, oh, we're under doctor's orders, we've got to rest. But still the mind is active. Something is going to be taking place. And what is the only healthy activity is service, giving ourselves. And that's what everybody does in Goloka Vrindavan. They can't conceive of anybody doing anything else. They can't conceive of whatever the names of the games are that the kids play and the adults play. We've seen it.
Maharaj, I was telling there's one new gentleman that is coming here, and he's very enthusiastic, and he's saying, I want to serve Krishna, I want to serve Krishna. So be very careful, because he will not only take your hand, he will take everything. So
he said that.
No, I said, be very careful, because you have to give him everything.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Bit by bit, he must conquer our heart. And this, as Guru Maharaj said, this is the good news, that Krishna is a thief. A thief doesn't need permission to enter. He'll break in and come in. And so we may think we are protected, we've protected our heart all around. No, we won't let Krishna come in. But he's a thief. So we just have to leave a window open or something to help him come in, and then that's it. We do have to help a little bit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, and while we're in West London, we still got Rasamoyi Pandita nearby. She's been doing a hard day's work, but she's with us, and we can ask Rasamoyi Pandita, what's the title of today? Something about service as well, right? No other necessity except the service of Lord Krishna. Oh yes, that's good enough. Rasamoyi Pandita, your thesis for this evening.
How can I speak on that, Maharaj? It's not like I'm able to like actively practice that myself. It's a very, very noble, most beautiful ideal, and that's why we're tuning in here today, because we love to hear from yourself, from Devashis Prabhu, from Keshavananda Prabhu, from Saraswati Didi, and everyone gathered here about what that truly means. But I think I can share one thing that just I read today with on the theme somewhat, is that how Srila Gurudev always encourages us to take stock of the day. He quotes this Urdu phrase, Saltamami, meaning a sort of an overview, an assessment. And I think in Revealed Truth he says to actually check in daily. To what extent have I dedicated myself? And to what extent have I dedicated myself externally, but also internally? That component, those two need to be there. And I think I'm just thinking about myself, how that would be very helpful to think about that more actively and see how improvements can be made. Because when you're analyzing things and assessing things, then you can see where there is so much room for growth and improvement and all these things. So I think that's all I can share today.
And Gurudev mentions about that Saltamami, that that is done once a year. But Gurudev says we need to do this once a day, like every day do this, not just check our plus and minus once a year. That's a kind of a big gap, but every day, so that we keep ourselves in the right direction. Hare Krishna. And Krishna consciousness service is our necessity. And the word artha means necessity, right? Yes, artha means necessity, and anartha is that which is not necessary. So anartha, we hear about anarthas in our heart, and things which are unwanted and unnecessary. So this, I just saw this from Srila Guru Maharaj in Sermons of the Garden of Devotion. That nirguna, nirguna means that the central flow and vibration of Krishna consciousness is eternal. That wave has no end. Any interest which is separate from Krishna consciousness is anartha. And this is where Guru Maharaj is saying, artha means necessity, and anartha is that which is not my necessity, that which is opposed to my necessity, being based on separate consciousness and separate interest. So, to get out of the trap of separate interest, which is misleading us, and to learn how to read the infinite, we are to identify with the universal flow, the universal wave. At present, we are being carried away by different waves of separate interest consciousness, anatta. It is not necessary for us. Our only necessity is to merge in the wave of the universal interest, which is for itself, for himself. And then Guru Maharaj quotes from Bhagavad Gita, Ahang hi sava yagyanang bhokta cha prabhureva cha. As you may have learned when you first joined the temple on your Back to Basics course. I am the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. Not me, of course, this is Krishna speaking. Krishna saying, I am the only enjoyer of all sacrifices, of all movement in this world. I am the only enjoyer, and everything belongs to me unconditionally. Hare Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness, our necessity. Anatta, the the opposite of necessity, unwanted things. God's position is such, he is paramount, he is the highest harmonizing center, and we must all submit cent per cent to him. Any deviation from that is anatta. Anatta means meaningless. It has no meaning. The only real meaning or purpose worthy to be served is the connection with the universal wave, the universal movement. Anything besides that is anatta, undesirable and unnecessary. The anattas will serve no purpose. Hare Krishna. I'll give you another 2 sentences because then Guru Maharaj is saying that is Krishna consciousness. So we are in connection with anattas, with undesirable things which will not serve any real purpose towards our cause. But the real cause of our life and the whole satisfaction of our very existence will be found only in connection with the universal wave of the whole absolute. And that is Krishna consciousness. It is the most universal, fundamental wave, and we have to catch that. Our goal, our satisfaction, and the very fulfillment of our life is only to be found there. And in that layer, that plane, and not in the superficial plane of nationality interest, family interest, social service, etc. For that is provincialism. Anyway, there we are, Guru Maharaj telling us that our purpose, satisfaction, everything for our very existence will be found only in connection with the universal wave of the absolute whole. And that is Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Why haven't we become serious devotees after reading these things again and again? Any answers to my question? Hare Krishna. And Ananda Swarupini, Didi, thank you for your wishes, your good wishes, Ananda Swarupini Didi. And yes, we can chat soon. I'll contact you in the morning. If tomorrow morning you're free, we can discuss in the morning over Skype. Krishna, Krishna. A hand from Govinda Nandini. A hand without an arm. Very mystic. Yes, Govinda Nandini.
Maharaj, your reading reminded me something more simple, much more simple than Guru Maharaj's word, but a definition I just came across this other day. Tamas is when it's like laziness of doing anything. Rajas, you want to do everything, and Sattva is you do what is necessary, and we don't do what is unnecessary. I know service is above, right, the gunas, but I don't know, while you were reading, I was thinking how to dovetail this into the service life, like paying really attention if what I am doing is like going this worship way, service way, and I don't know, I'm just venting.
To make your home Krishna's home, and then you are a servant of the Lord in the daily family life that you lead. And that direction is given to us very kind of sweetly and strongly too by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Sharanagati book. Because service to Krishna is the necessity of our life. It's the normal life. So we have to adjust our way of doing things. And so you have family, you have family, you've got a home, you have your duties. But how to do this in Krishna consciousness, in service to Krishna? Everything can be done in service to Krishna. It's just changing our consciousness. So this is then not tamasic or rajasic or sattvic. It is Shuddha Sattva. It is coming to the pure devotional line. You're keeping the house clean for Krishna. You're cooking for Krishna. You're doing this, that, and the other, raising your children for Krishna, looking after your husband for Krishna. These duties are there, but conscious of Krishna. So I can recommend, and we are still going through Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati here, by the way. We didn't finish going through the Sharanagati quite yet, because we had one or two impediments along the way. Hare Krishna, or distractions along the way, but not, distractions means distractions. Devashis Prabhu, last but not least.
Yes,
Certainly
Maharaj.
not least.
You know, I just saw a video of Srila Prabhupada, Swami Maharaj Prabhupada the other day, and very nicely he's saying in there, like pleading with the devotees, he said, we've had so many lives where we've tried to find satisfaction in this material world and we've not been successful. So he said, my request to all of you is, please, this one life, just this one life, please try to give that life to Krishna. And, from the tone of his plea, you could feel it was so heartfelt, and I felt really touched by that. And more with this subject, I was reminded, and I searched through some of my transcripts of a talk of Guru Maharaj, where I was present, which very much touched me at the time, about 1982 or 83, something like that. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read the transcription of that. It was very nice. One sannyasi, he asked Guru Maharaj this question, and I think, this devotee is coming from ISKCON originally, and he when everyone would ask Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, how can we please you? We all know that inevitably his answer was always, distribute my books, that will please me. So maybe he was thinking Guru Maharaj would say something like that, I don't know, but he asked Guru Maharaj this question, Guru Maharaj, how can we please you? What can we do that will be pleasing to you? And this is Guru Maharaj's reply. Krishna is for himself. That is, he exists for his own purpose, and we also exist for him. When you can adopt this line of life, for which I am also trying to use my energy wholesale, when you will join that concern, then I will be pleased. What I am to do with this life, I like that others will also follow that. My life is only meant for Krishna, and naturally I would like that others will also follow this same route. That is only natural. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam. What is the desire of Sri Chaitanya? And accordingly, the desire of my Guru Maharaj. I want to work towards fulfilling that. Under the direction of my Gurudev, I am following the path of Radha Krishna consciousness, where we will enter the domain where Radharani is serving her most beloved Lord Krishna. We consider this to be our highest goal, and any day, any time in this infinite time, we want to reach that goal, the highest ideal. It is our only aim in life, and we consider that everyone should accept it as their summum bonum. What is the most faultless, purest conception of life? Exploitation is filthy, and renunciation is zero. Therefore, service, loving service, is the highest zenith of purity. We want to prepare ourselves for that cause, the most intense loving service with no tinge of exploitation. Purity depends only on how much we can sacrifice ourselves for the highest object, and that is love proper. It is based on sacrifice, not on exploitation. Love proper stands on the plane of sacrifice. As much sacrifice, then that much we will have love. The basis of love must be sacrifice, the pure love, die to live. Sacrifice does not end only in renunciation. That is only the negative side, but there is positive sacrifice. Sacrifice for the perfect cause, the absolute good. And that sacrifice is living. It doesn't just reach the zero and disappear, not that samadhi. No, it is the most intensified life, possessed of the highest degree of living energy. The standard of that sacrifice we cannot conceive of, and we may never be able to reach that standard. Here we have some experience of heat, but within the sun, how much heat is there? It is inconceivable and intolerable to us, but we cannot deny that it exists. The highest degree of heat is found in the sun, and there are also substances that can stand that heat, but we can only tolerate the sun for some distance. So in the same way, we can only render service under the direction of the higher servitors. In Krishna Loka, there is a special group of servitors in every rasa: Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhura, servitude, friendship, paternal, and consorthood. And we are to reach that certain distance in relation to them, where we will thrive most. We cannot stand if we venture to go nearer. So Radha Dasya is necessary, or Jashoda Dasya, Nanda Dasya, Sudama Dasya, because their degree of serving sacrifice will be intolerable to us due to our constitution. Only from behind them can we render our service. We can do our duty, and that will be our acme. Our highest aspiration should be there. This has been recommended for us. The first group is already there, and we can never take the place of them. Only from behind them, in the second or third line, we can do our best work, and our highest attainment will be from that position. From there, we will be able to have some experience of the higher order. We will get some view how things are going on in the area of most intense heat. One poet has written that if the fly falls into a pot of honey while trying to taste its sweetness, then he will die. Its wings will be covered with honey and it will drown them. But if instead of honey, the pot is filled with amrita, then the fly won't die because it is amrita. Taking the sweetness of that amrita, one will get eternal life. So we cannot tolerate the heat, but the heat is sweet heat. It will not burn us, but we can't stand. We can't rise ourselves up to that degree. It is not within us, just like we are limited as to what we can see. The most intense light is invisible to us. For example, the X-ray and sound, a very high sound will be inaudible to us, as will a very low sound. Only in the middle can we hear. The senses are like that, and the position of the soul is also like that. And the position of the soul is that it has its range within which it thrives. Vishwanath Chakravarti has in a nutshell described what is our duty, that our object of adoration is the Lord Nandanandan, Krishna, the son of the king of Braja, and his capital is Vrindavan, a sweet forest town. The Jamuna is there, Radha Kund, the Govardhan Hill, and so many Kadamba trees, lotus flowers, many wonderful things. A garden town, Vrindavan, that is his capital. And there we find a peculiar type of worship which has been designed by the damsels of Vrindavan, the gopis. They have discovered a very peculiar, sweet type of service, worship of their Lord of love. We have much charm for that. That type of worship and adoration designed by the gopis, that is the most attractive. And how do we know that this is the truth? This may all be imagination. Where is our evidence, your witnesses? Where is your guarantee that you may get that thing? Who can say that it is not purely imagination. The great scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is acknowledged as the very gist of all revealed scriptures, that holy book stands guarantee for us all. And what does it offer, that Bhagavatam? You are to aspire and strive so hard, but what will be your remuneration? You will receive the fifth end of life, and that is love divine. You will be able to taste that nectar of love divine that has been reserved for you. And where do you get that? Who has taught that? Who has given this information to you? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great Lord Chaitanya Dev. He has come with all these fine things, these wonderful things. And our greatest respect is for this advice, this direction of our life. Then I remember everyone was like in a kind of stunned silence. And then from the back, one lady, she asked Guru Maharaj, Maharaj, can we all get there? And Guru Maharaj replies, yes, we can all have our birth in that land. All can be accommodated there. That is the nature of the infinite. But there is gradation according to our capacity. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. In this way, the hierarchy is there. There is the clear, the officer, the confidential officer, gradation. The friendly circle, they will have to serve under Subal, Sudam, Sridam, etc. They're eternal leaders in that rasa. In the filial circle, Nanda, Jashoda, and others are the permanent leaders, and we may serve under them. In Madhura rasa also, there is the selected group. So we are to be located in some area of service. So many services are there. The garland service, the food service, the fanning service, and so on. So according to my inner taste, I shall be grouped there in a particular section where I will get my duty. There I will get my best satisfaction. I will be fulfilled as much as may be contained within my heart. And sometimes, like hunger, I will feel separation, and then there will be union. Separation will prepare us for relishing the food even more. In this way, there are so many arrangements in that land. Heart's transaction has its facility there. Bhakti comes from the heart. Heart holds a higher position than the brain. Ruchi, or taste, is the sweetest thing there. No calculation is found in Vrindavan. In Vaikuntha, of course, the position of brain is there to some degree. But in Vrindavan, reflex action, inspiration, love is the moving force. There we are. What can we say?
There we are. This is your purport.
Yeah, you can't really follow that with anything else, can you?
That bit about the fly, if he falls into honey, his wings will get covered over and he'll drown and die. But if it's nectar, then he'll get life. So
Beautiful.
we need some jars of nectar.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. And Dayanidhi Das to everyone wrote, okay, thank you. Very good. Yes. We also say okay and thank you for the wonderful talk. Yes, he's adding okay and thank you for the wonderful talk.
Guru Maharaj's talk.
Yeah. And the lady from the back said, Guru Maharaj, can we all get there?
Yeah. It was very sweet, I remember. Very deep and touching. There's some things, you know, some talks, some events, some things that we always remember our whole life. like significant things.
Hare Krishna.
And to your answer to your question, why are we not serious about this? I think all we can say is that drops of water wear away the stone. Isn't it? One drop, one drop, one drop. Then we see that, right, in nature. The same stone over years, water drop, drip, drip, drip. It can make a hole through the stone eventually. So maybe if we keep exposing I can say in my own case, my stone-like heart to those drops, that one day it will make some impression there.
And Keshavananda mentioned about the Giriraj Shila that Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. And I never really, I just accepted it. Oh, he gave a Shila with his thumbprint on it. And I'm thinking like thumb indentation, like this. Yeah. And only when I saw the deity, whatever I can see of the deity, when one of our sweet devotees over donated to the pujari directly to bring the little Shingasan over to the front and uncover the Giriraj and show. Then when I saw close up that Giriraj, I understood that it's a small Shila and that Mahaprabhu would hold it and rub it with his thumb. So like you are saying, drops of water will wear away stone. But Mahaprabhu's rubbing and rubbing and rubbing the Govardhan Shila, we're told, against his chest, against his eyes, he would cherish that. But that rubbing with his thumb made the imprint. So it's not like, oh, we got a thumb imprint in clay kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so when we saw that, and it's a small Giriraj.
Yeah.
Quite small Giriraj. And look at Keshavananda's face, because he's saying, I'm going there soon. Going to see you. You've got to share when you go, Keshavananda. You're going to have to share some little secrets each week of where you've been, what you've seen. Govinda, Govinda.
Yes, Maharaj, I'm already thinking of what we can share. Try and share.
All right. Anyhow, this week from all over the world, really, Rupa Nuga Prabhu from Australia all the way over to Venezuela and South America and everywhere. Devotees are here, and Latvia and everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. North, south, east, and west. Gurudev would say, I have disciples from North Pole to South Pole, Gurudev would say. Maybe not in the North Pole, but means from the very, like the Arctic Circle, all the way down to the south of wherever's the south. Oh, well, New Zealand, I suppose. That's where they launched the expeditions, mainly to Antarctica, we hear. All right, dear devotees, happy to be with you all by the invitation of Devashis Prabhu, the president of the secretary of the London chapter, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat, and Saraswati Devi. I don't know what her official title, but it must be very big, of the West London Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And Lavanya Mayi must have a big title. All they must have a big title for the service that is taking place. So by the invitation of our London back to Vrinda, we're very happy that from left, right, up, down, east, west, all of us have been able to join together today in the temple rooms, simultaneously West and East London. Jai Srila Gurudev. Keshavananda Prabhu, give us the jais today, please, because we've got you with us, because you can.
Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha
Sundar.
Radha Sundar.
No.
Oh.
Gauranga Sundar.
Gauranga Sundar Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj, Shri Giri Govardhana ki jai.
Radha Giridhari.
Radha Giridhari Ju ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Bhakti Rakak Shidha Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki
Jai.
Shri Navadip Dham ki jai. Shri Gangamai ki jai. Shri Eka Chakra Dham ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Jamuna Mai ki jai. Shri Govardhana Dham ki jai. Shri Anu Giriraj ki jai.
Jai.
All Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai.
Jai.
All the Eastern devotees ki jai. All the Western devotees ki jai. All the world devotees ki jai. Srila Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Ki jai. Saraswati ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gopamanande. Hari Hari Bo.
Jai Keshavananda Prabhu ki jai also.
Jai.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All right, stay safe, stay well, chant Hare Krishna, be happy, give all honor to all devotees, except yourself. And don't see any faults in anybody except yourself, etc., etc., etc. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari.